Derek Blastwave. The chipped formica of the mess hall table felt cool under my elbows. Another nutrient-paced breakfast. Another sunrise painting the corrugated metal of the base in shades of rust and regret. It was comfortable. Predictable. Blastwave, they called me. Derek AIart waved to the records, though the name felt distant, a ghost of a man I once might have been. Comfort wasn't something an artilleryman often found, but here, on this backwater planet, slogging through calculations for trajectory adjustments that would likely never be used, it was all there was. The hum of the generators, the clatter of trays, the quiet desperation in the eyes of the men around me. It was a symphony of the mundane, and I, a willing conductor. But comfort, like a stale ration, eventually loses its appeal. It was an ambition, not exactly. It wasn't even a yearning for glory. It was curiosity. A phantom itch in the back of my mind that whispered of possibilities beyond the endless calculations. I wanted to see the impact, to feel the reverberations of a properly placed shell, not just calculate the angles. I wanted to experience the quantum reality of it, the probability wave collapsing into a singular, devastating event. The rumors, of course, fueled this. Whispers of a new experimental artillery piece, one that didn't just hit its target, but altered things. Shifted realities. It was madness, of course, but a maddeningly alluring madness. The facility was wrong. Not structurally, but dimensionally. Corridors that seemed to stretch and contract, lights that flickered with a non-Euclidean geometry. Scientists in sterile suits, their faces obscured, spoke in clipped, precise tones, avoiding eye contact. They called it the Chronos Cannon, a name that felt heavy with implications. I was assigned to the targeting team, tasked with calculating not just distance and angle, but temporal displacement. The coordinates weren't for a location in space, but a moment in time. The air tasted like ozone and regret. This wasn't artillery. It was archaeology of the future. The calculations were unlike anything I'd ever encountered. Newtonian physics bent and fractured under the weight of temporal equations. I learned to think in probabilities, in branching timelines, in the echo of causality. The scientists, initially dismissive, began to seek my input. My years of predicting shell trajectories, it turned out, had inadvertently prepared me for navigating the complexities of temporal mechanics. I adapted, not with eagerness, but with a grim determination. The comfort of predictability was gone, replaced by the dizzying uncertainty of infinite possibilities. I became a cartographer of the unreal, charting a course through the chaotic sea of time. We fired the Chronos Cannon. The blast didn't shake the facility, it unmade it, momentarily dissolving the boundaries of reality. The target, a strategically insignificant outpost on a distant planet, simply vanished. Not destroyed, not obliterated, but erased from existence, as if it had never been. The scientists celebrated, hailing it as a breakthrough. I, however, felt a hollow victory. The outpost was gone, yes, but something else was missing too. A subtle shift in the air, a faint echo of a timeline that no longer existed. I had gotten what I wanted, to see the impact, to feel the reverberations, but the reverberations felt wrong. The changes began subtly. Lost memories, misplaced objects, fleeting glimpses of impossible landscapes. Then came the larger shifts. Men from my unit started to flicker, their forms momentarily dissolving into static. The mess hall food tasted like ash. The sky, once a uniform gray, fractured into a kaleidoscope of impossible colors. The scientists, initially dismissive, panicked. The Chronos Cannon hadn't just erased the target, it had begun to unravel the fabric of reality itself. My relentless pursuit of understanding, my desire to see the impact, had unleashed a chaos I couldn't control. The price wasn't just the outpost, but everything. They sent me back. Not to the mess hall, not to the predictable routine, but to a near replica of it, created as a sort of temporal anchor. It was close. Almost comfortable. But the gray was a shade off, The food tasted subtly bland, and the faces of my fellow soldiers held a vacant, unsettling quality. The ripple effects of the Chronos canon were contained, but the original timeline was irrevocably altered. I was a ghost in a fractured reality, a living paradox. I was home, but I wasn't. I was Blastwave, but I no longer remembered who Derek AIart was. I sit now, staring at the chipped formica of the mess hall table, the lukewarm nutrient paste a congealed mass in front of me. The comfort is a lie, a carefully constructed illusion. I still calculate trajectories, but now they're not for shells, but for probabilities, for potential divergences. The desire for understanding hasn't vanished, but it's tempered by a profound and crippling regret. I am a changed man, forever haunted by the echo of a timeline that no longer exists, a prisoner of my own curiosity, a testament to the devastating power of seeing too much. And I suspect, with a chilling certainty, that this isn't the end, but merely the beginning of the unraveling.